Welcome back to The Circle. Well, how does our parenting style affect how our kids develop? And as parents, should we reflect on our behaviour as much as our kids? To talk us through the different parenting styles to help us become hopefully better at what we do, please welcome parenting expert Sharon Witt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Sargent Major.
Really? That's what I am,
Well,
Sergeant Major. Let's get straight into it. What are the 5 main parenting styles?
Okay, so we've got Sargent Major.
Yes.
Okay, which is kind of the it's my way or the highway type parenting. Okay, you often see that on Wife Swap. You know, you've got the parent who's just like, there is no, you can't step over the line. This is me.
Yes.
So they really don't allow much for children to any give. Okay. Then you've got the democratic parent, which...
So, can we just go back to Sargent Major?
Yes.
What are the impacts of that, Sharon, on the kids?
Well, I think what happens, you may have a child that sort of conforms for some time. What I've often seen with the Sargent Major type parent is that, you know, sort of once they hit the 17, 18 years, they go off and want to just let it all out and just start to explore and go everywhere, and they really want to sort of get out of that.
Yeah.
So you might feel like you've got control for a while they're under your roof, but beware.
And it really depends what the other parent, I mean, we'll talk about this a bit later as well, whether the other parent is a Sergeant Major as well.
Absolutely.
Good cop, bad cop kind
with a
of thing.
Sergeant Major, there's really not much room for give for a child.
And
So
kids hide things from Sergeant Majors, don't they?
Absolutely. And some children really like the confines of strong boundaries. They love that. But when there is actually no room for movement or negotiation, especially when they get to those teenage years, that's when we really need to start to have, you know, a little bit of discussion and negotiation there.
Okay. What's the next one?
Okay, the next one is the democratic parent, which you were saying that you'd like to be the democratic
I think every parent
parent
wants to be democratic.
Yeah, look, I think that's the style we want to sort of aim towards, because it's not saying, okay, everything is negotiated. So yes, your curfew is going to be 7. Oh no, we'd negotiate, okay, 9. It's where you actually listen to your child and you allow them to discuss things with you. But in the end, you are still, as parents, making the final decision.
So you're authoritative, but you're pretty fair.
Absolutely, you're still fair. And I think as teachers as well, I'm a secondary teacher as well, and I think I have to be, you know, a democratic teacher in many ways, because sometimes I'm not always right, and as parents, sometimes we're not always right. And we need to be able to say, okay,
And how does that affect the kids, Sharon, that particular style of parenting?
Well, I think it allows, look, it really sets them up for life skills, because when you're in a workplace, you're going to have to, you know, discuss and explain and sometimes ask for negotiation as a worker. So I think that is probably the best model to set them up for life.
So the next one's the helicopter. Is that one of those parents that's kind of...
It's the hover.
lurks about their child?
This is the parent that will knock on the classroom door at 10 o'clock and go, I've got Johnny's lunch, he forgot it.
Oh.
Okay, and comes in and just, you know, spits and wipes the face.
Oh,
and,
gosh.
Yeah, no, they're always hovering.
So they're the kids that grow up that don't do their own washing?
Yes, yes.
But you've got to let them run
one of
free
those.
at some stage,
Yeah,
don't you?
but the helicopter parent really allows no cause for any mistakes. So, you know, okay, here's an example. What happens if one of your children comes home and they've got a major project due tomorrow morning? What would you do? So they've had a week to do it.
Yeah.
My art assignment's due tomorrow morning. What do you do? What would you do?
Burn down the school!
Great, I love it. Yes,
the wrong
great parenting.
They give me crap all the time for saying this, but I used to be a teacher. So I'd be encouraging that they need to learn from that mistake.
Yes.
So I would say, well, you've only got 4 hours and you do it, and I would have to get them to hand in something that they might get a D+ on or fail it.
So the helicopter parent,
Helicopter parent would go, right, let's get the glue, let's get the paper, let's start quick. Okay, hopefully we'll get an A for this. I mean, you'll get an A for it. And they work on it and then hand it in. What do you mean we've got to be? I mean, that was worth an A.
So it doesn't teach them a skill.
No, it just goes, let's get this done, come on, let's do it together.
Is that because they want their child to be
They want their
perfect
child to
and
be perfect, successful, and not learn from their mistakes. They dive into it.
You're doing a great job. Let's keep rolling through.
Yes.
The buddy parent.
Yes, the buddy parent just wants to be friends, hang out. You know, you've got a party on the weekend. Oh, come along. You know,
That's going to affect a child in a way, though. You need...
They drive me nuts.
You need
and where is the line there? You know, you want to be the parent. You are the parent. You're not your child's friend. Your child has friends for a reason. The parent needs to be the parent, needs to set the boundaries, needs to enforce the boundaries.
Sharon, is the buddy parent the one who also can't see that their child is doing anything wrong?
Yeah, often.
Because sometimes you're in a situation where the kid's clearly doing something wrong, but the parent is blind to it.
Yes, and that's often the final one, which is the Woodstock parent.
What's
okay? Very laissez-faire, very sort of, you know, as Yumi was saying before the break, you know, just sitting back with a wine and just like, yeah, whatever. What time will you be home? Okay, great. You know, see you then.
Letting the child make their own rules and
I think the problem with that is our kids need boundaries, even when they're teenagers. They need strong boundaries,
especially when
and
they're
they need you to enforce that. And if you're not enforcing that, you're teaching them to just, you know, it'll all work out in the end.
What do you call the parent that sees the Woodstock child misbehaving and you tell off that child? when you see another person's kid being naughty and you want to step in,
that's
but
the
you
slap.
That's the slap. Yeah, exactly. That's the slap parent.
Yeah, and very quickly, what about if you've got a parent, two different parents, two different styles? I mean, that can be really difficult.
Well, we were talking about this before, and I said to Georgie, did you and your husband discuss how you're going to parent your child before you had a baby? And they did, but I don't know if people do that enough,
No, I actually think that when you go out on your first date, you should sit there and go, right, now, if we do get married, have children, what style would you use?
That's really sexy.
Bound to get a second date with that guy.
Good luck with that at home. Please thank Sharon Witt, everyone. Thanks, guys. You got through a lot of information, very helpful. Just in time for one last quickie from Marianne.